Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for RB. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, tier list ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for Nebraska, a film that came out, I guess, around 2013. I had never heard of this film before, but Nebraska is a black and white film directed by Alexander Payne. Now, he did Election with Matthew Broderick. He did The Descendants with George Clooney. The last film I saw him do was The Holdovers, which I did like, with Paul Giamatti. I thought that was a pretty good film. And this I liked as well. This one, it's a very quaint, quiet drama, but I thought the black and white photography was like pretty nice to look at times, especially the last shot. I thought the last shot was rather beautiful. I like the cast. Bruce Dern, I've always liked Bruce Dern. The first time I ever saw him was The Burbs, which I love. The Burbs. The Burbs is one of my favorite comedies. It's my favorite Joe Dante film. I think Bruce Dern is wonderful in that. And I've liked him in other stuff too. It was nice to see him, like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was nice to see him in that movie. And whenever he pops up, it's all cool. It's Bruce Dern. So it's cool that he got to be a big focus in this film. Will Forte plays one of his sons. Now, I wasn't sure about him at first because he's, MacGruber, that parody on MacGyver. I'm not a fan of that. But I thought Will Forte did a good job. Definitely much more of a, less comedic, more serious role. I thought he was rather good as one of the sons. The other son, Will Forte's brother, is played by Bob Odenkirk, who I remember more now from the film Nobody. Their mom is played by June Squibb. I might have screwed up her name. I thought she was rather good. At first I wasn't sure, because usually, like, at the beginning of the movie, she's just kind of nagging. But then throughout the film, you kind of understand her point of view, and she has some pretty good moments. And apparently she was actually nominated for an Oscar for this. I think this did nominated for a few Oscars, but I don't think it won any. Stacy Keach is in the film. He's kind of the film's antagonist. Love Stacy Keach. Loved him ever since. Actually, the first film I saw him in was Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, which I love the character he plays in that. And then loved him in Road Games. I think Road Games is a pretty underrated film. I'm trying to remember if any other film. Oh, I won't. So the plot of the film is, before I get to that, Bruce Dern keeps wandering onto the road and walking, and the cops have to stop him. And eventually Will Forte, who works at this shop, the store trying to sell stereos and music equipment, is contacted, and apparently Bruce Dern wants to go to Nebraska. They're in Montana, but he wants to go to Nebraska because he says, I won this $1 million. Now, it's one of those things you get in the mail, and it's like, if you buy our magazine or this or that, you're $1 million. So it's obviously a scam. There's nothing to it. Everybody knows it. But Bruce Dern is adamant. They say I won. No, that's not the thing. It's a scam. So he's adamant no matter what to go to Nebraska. No matter what. Can't talk him out of it. Can't say anything to him about it. Eventually, Will Forte says, you know what, I'll take him to Nebraska. It'll also be a way to bond. To bond together. And along the way, they stop at this town that Bruce Dern and the mom, or Bruce Dern's wife, they used to live at. And that's where they see Stacy Keach, who was an old friend of Bruce Dern, but he was also kind of an ass that would take advantage of him and even stole the guy's air compressor from back in the day. They would also see Will Forte's uncle, which is actually Rance Howard, Ron Howard and Clint Howard's dad. And then Rance Howard's sons, one of them is Buzz from Home Alone. If you were growing out of my ass. Now, apparently that guy is a bit of a weirdo and a freakazoid. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played Buzz in Home Alone. Just I looked up information, I'm like, what has he been up to? Apparently he's been up to strangling women. Because he apparently was in his girlfriend, his wife, and almost strangled her, and says this is where you die, and apparently he's a bit of a fucking fruitcake. No wonder he plays such a good asshole in Home Alone, because apparently he's a piece of shit in real life too. So that's Buzz for you. I guess I should not have been surprised. This is Buzz. It says Buzz would grow up. It's a character. Yeah, I know it's a character. I'm just saying. No wonder he played that too well. So he's one of the two kids. Well, kids. One of the two sons of Rance Howard's. Him and his wife's characters. But it's very much a character study movie. I wouldn't say it's really funny or anything. It's definitely more drama, but more of just like the quiet moments and letting moments sink in. And it's the little moments. For example, before they get to that town, Will Forte and Bruce Dern stop and look at the Mount Rushmore, and Bruce Dern says, "Looks unfinished to me." Huh? Looks like someone got bored in the middle of it. Lincoln doesn't even have an ear. I thought that was pretty funny for Bruce Dern to say that. I'm like, yeah, that's true. He does not have an ear. Or at one point, Bruce Dern gets drunk and then he loses some of his false teeth, and they're looking for it. And they each kind of play a joke on each other. Oh, I found some teeth. Oh, it's not your teeth. Of course it's your teeth. Wait, these aren't my teeth. It has to be. I would know what my teeth looks like. Of course they're my teeth. So it really is like a life father, life son aspect to these two, which I think is one of the points of the film. And again, they see Will Forte's uncle, and they see the Bruce Dern's old friend, Stacy Keach. There's this lady who used to like Bruce Dern back in the day. And then eventually people think that, oh, he does have this $1 million ticket. And so people start treating him nicely. And then people say, oh, he owes us money for this, owes us money for that. By this point, Bob Odenkirk and the mom have arrived. They just want to see the old town sights. This is where I started really liking the mom character, where she's telling these people, the thing with my husband, he couldn't say no to anybody and it ruined him. Okay, you say he owes you, but he did a lot more for you than what he owes you. And you guys come out like vultures. Usually it's after someone's dead, someone comes out like vultures. And then she's like, just go fuck yourselves. I thought that was pretty satisfying. And then Will Forte starts learning about Bruce Dern's life. Like at one point he was shot down in Korea. He never knew about that. They look at their old home, that there's nothing left, and they go to the spot where Bruce Dern's brother back in the day passed away. And you see like the way Will Forte's looking as dad. And Bruce Dern, like, he plays, for the most part, a sad character. And what you kind of gather with the film is that it's a film about an unfulfilled life, regrets. I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. Because spoilers, by the end, he him and Will Forte get jumped by those two boys, one of them, Buzz. Then they go, wait, this isn't a fucking real ticket. And then Stacy Keach reads it in a bar to make fun of Bruce Dern. I do like Will Forte goes up and punches Stacy Keach right in the face as he deserves. I thought that was a really nice, gratifying moment. Bruce Dern's woozy, goes to the hospital. He's still adamant to go there. Will Forte takes him, and then lo and behold, nope, it's not a winning ticket. I thought the scene, I liked the way this played out, where the lady's like, well, hope you guys didn't come far. Yeah, we came from the Montana. Well, would you like a car seat or a car cushion? A car cushion or a hat? What do you say, Dad? Huh? You want a car cushion or a hat? I'll take the hat. Just sort of these kind of quiet moments that deadpan done the right way. I mean, I saw a film called The Dead Don't Die. That was doing deadpan the most egregious way, an unfunny way. This one I thought would handle it a bit better. And yeah, I like the idea of him shooting in black and white. It was different, you know. You don't see a lot of films done in that fashion. I like the cast. There are moments of humor. There's a bit where they think they're by Stacy Keach's place, and Bob Odenkirk and Will Forte's like, we're going to steal back the air compressor he owes you. So they go, and the mom goes, oh yeah, that's his place. So they go and steal it. Then they drive for like 30 seconds, and the mom goes, or actually, Bruce Dern goes, that's not his place. What? Oh, and the mom goes, oh yeah, that's right. Those are blah blah. They're like, okay, and who are these people? Oh, they're nice people, and they've gone through hard times, and their kid died, and then like the two brothers look at each other. Oh my fuck! So they gotta bring the air compressor all the way back to the bar, because they thought they were stealing it from the asshole Stacy Keach, but no, instead they were stealing it for these nice people, so they have to bring it back. And then the mom and Bruce Dern see that the couple who own the home come by, and they have to have this kind of awkward conversation to stall time. I thought that was kind of a funny bit of business. But I mean, the whole movie is just, you can really feel Bruce Dern's regrets. Bruce Dern, he even says, I want to leave you boys something. Just want to leave you something. And that's why he's been adamant that if some way, some shape, some form he can leave something for his kids, he wants to. And so it seems like this is a guy that would give a lot to people, and now he wants to give to his kids, and maybe he wishes he was more successful. He wishes he could have done things differently. He wishes he could have been more successful or more rich, or be the star of the town, be the toast of the town, make a name for you, like we all do. I mean, there's a part of you that do wish you could make a name for yourself, that do wish you could have been more popular, more famous, more rich, more something to you, and then enough time passes by and you go, it's not really the case. I wish there was a bit more, but I don't quite know more what. There's something more that I wish it had, but I can't really put into words, which I know is a lousy way to put it. If it was maybe the son explaining, Dad, you don't have to give us anything because this or that are enough, but that doesn't really come into play. Or maybe Bruce Dern apologizing to his son, like, I'm sorry about all this. Just something a little bit more I was wanting. I can't quite put my fingers on it. Maybe it's both of them, maybe it's other things as well. Maybe like Bruce Dern having an acting moment where he just does like this big rant about what he could have been, what he should have been, what he isn't, and what he is. Certain things followed up, like Bob Odenkirk said earlier in the movie that guy never loved us, that guy never cared for us. I kind of wish that was more developed as to what that means. What does that mean that Bruce Dern never cared for you guys? Does it seem like Will Forte doesn't really feel that way, but Bob Odenkirk does? So I kind of wish we could have had more of that delve into, like Bruce Dern and Bob Odenkirk having kind of either a standoff, a fight, an argument, something. But there really isn't. So I kind of wish there was a little bit more follow through with that seeming setup. So there's a little bit more I wanted out of the movie, but I did like the cast. I didn't mind the ending, the heavy spoilers. Will Forte kind of looks at his dad, and he turns his car in and gets a pickup truck. And it's like, hey, Dad, I put it in your name. What? Yeah, I put it in your name. And then he also buys his dad a new air compressor. And then when he gets back to that town, he's like, how about you drive for a bit? So then Bruce Dern is driving, and people are looking at him as if he's the toast of the town, like, oh, he was a lion. Wow, he did get rich. Wow, he did get a new truck. Even Stacy Keach is watching. I kind of wish the two guys, including Buzz from Home Alone, were out there too. To have a big old goose egg on their face. I kind of wish they were there too. But you tell that it makes Bruce Dern feel better, and then when they get out of town, they switch seats. No fuss, no muss, and they go on their way. So maybe this is a way to signify that Will Forte is going to do what his dad didn't do, and go for certain things, and not be walked on, try for certain things. So yeah, this guy, Bruce Dern always wanted a new pickup truck. I'm going to get a new pickup truck. This guy's been wanting an air compressor for how many years? I'm just going to buy the air compressor. I'm not, earlier when he punched Stacy Keach in the face, he don't defend himself. So maybe it's a way of him kind of stating that, I'm going to maybe go for certain things in the future. Now, granted, again, even with that character, like, they bring up this whole thing at the beginning where there's this woman he likes who moved out, and he's like, you want to move back in? Well, I just moved out. Okay, well, let me take this phone call. Then you never hear of that girl again. She just kind of disappears. So it seemed like, well, what was the point of that? Was that meant to lead to something? Is he going to go try to get with her again? Is he going to let her go and say maybe it won't work out? Is he going to change and then eventually she'll move back in? Maybe you're not supposed to think about all that. So yeah, it does leave some, maybe that's the point, it leaves some questions and some things to pontificate. Maybe that's just the typical Alexander Payne way, I don't know. I would say I liked the holdovers a bit more than this. Although I'm not a fan of Election. I was never a fan of that movie. I did like this more than that. Like I said, I liked the cast. I thought Will Forte showed that he could play more than just a MacGruber kind of role. Bruce Dern, him being the lead, was a nice... Because he really is the lead. I thought that was really nice to see. I like seeing Bob Odenkirk there. I like the lady that played the mom. Always like to see Stacy Keach in there. The last shot when they're driving down the road, very nice, beautiful shot. Good black and white photography. Thought the music fit with the proceedings. There's nothing that outrageous or off the cuff. Well filmed. It's a good looking movie. Again, there's certain bits of the story I wish there was a little bit more of, a little bit more to contemplate, a little bit more to delve further into certain characters or certain relationships, whether between Bob Odenkirk and Bruce Dern or some of these other things. Again, the Will Forte's girlfriend, whatever she was at the beginning. Again, Bruce Dern maybe either apologize or something else at the end to his kids. But other than that, if you like Bruce Dern and you like kind of quiet, low-key films of that nature, if you watch the trailer and it intrigues you, it's worth at least one watch. So there you go with that. With that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.